Before we get started in today's video, be sure to enter our Act 2 giveaway for 10,000 Valorant points. You can find all of the details in the top comment and description below, and it ends on Sunday the 7th of March. Good luck! Hey guys, my name is RyanCentral and welcome to HitScan. 6 videos in 3 days we've done on all of the stuff on a new act, and this should be the last one for all of the new content, unless there's other stuff to talk about such as new skins. We actually have the patch notes a little bit early, so we're going to go through some of the main changes to Ranked, and also some really nice quality of life stuff in the game, which we got to experience in the playtest, that is legit amazing. Let's talk about the Ranked changes first, as this is the main area and there's a lot of changes coming into it ever since we've had the new rank system added in at the start of episode 2. First and foremost, we're going to all have placements. There is going to be a little bit of a rank reset, but not as much as you would expect. The first change is that your rank will no longer be lowered at the start of an act. If you were Radiant or Immortal rank before the end of this previous act, I suppose it would be, you will keep your position on the leaderboard, but your rank rating, your RR, will be reduced by 90%, and all Radiant players will be bumped down to Immortal, because you will need to again prove that you are the best of the best to get the Radiant icon, I suppose it would be, to achieve that. Achieving Radiant now requires both being in the top 500 players of your region, as well as having the minimum amount of RR, which we'll go into very shortly. And you must finish your placement game to display on the leaderboard for the new act. You are only required to play one placement match to display your rank. Your ranked rating may change based on how you perform in that placement game, but the maximum change will be based solely off that one game. If you haven't done your proper placements, for example at the start of this episode, you'll probably still have to play those 5 games overall. I know a few people still haven't played their ranked games yet. If you're a player trying to earn Radiant, well, bit of bad news. It's going to be more challenging to earn. You must achieve a certain level of ranked rating before being able to ascend to Radiant. This is adjusted per region based off ranked population and ranked rating distribution. Here are the numbers. If you're in Latin America or Korea, you need to hit at least 100 ranked rating in Immortal. For Brazil, it's 200, NA and APAC it's 300, and Europe we get hit the hardest 400, and that's because there's so many players out there that they want to make sure that the Radiant top 500, I guess it would be, get to be able to be seen with the amount of players that are there. At the start of the season, the leaderboard will be disabled for about 24 to 48 hours as it's down for maintenance. And also, bit of bad news too for most players that are hoping to climb quickly. Later on in the patch, they will reduce the amount of average ranked rating that you win and lose by 5. This is focused on reducing how often a player's rank gets above their MMR and leads to inconsistent ranked rating games and this massive delta between their displayed rank and MMR. The big issue that we saw at the start of the episode, right, where we had pros stuck in platinum and everything kind of looked a bit botched. The small maths tweaks will be common as we try to find the correct balance from ranked rating based on these issues that we are seeing in the community. During this patch, we will change the motion logic for players to start at 70 rank rating, previously 80 rank rating. One of my favorite changes actually in this patch is that ranks will no longer be displayed in Agent Select or in-game. You will, however, be able to see your team's ranks, the enemy team's ranks, and they'll be able to see yours at the end of a game in the end of game screen, meaning that you won't be in a situation where you're going into a game, you see that the enemy team have 3 Immortals on their team, whilst you have 2, I don't know, Diamond players. You know, those situations where you automatically go into a game and feel that the game is unbalanced based off the ranks that you see. Or your teammates start to give you a lot of flack because you're the lowest rank and you're underperforming. Gone are those days, thank God, because I hate it when that happens in stuff like Overwatch, and I think that this is a really, really nice change, even though it might not seem as impactful. And this is the cool thing. So we've had a lot of stuff when it comes to rank disparity, being able to queue up with the right people, and ultimately it's meant that you can't really play with friends as much. I think Overwatch again suffered from this in its development, where you can't necessarily group up as a 6-man team and play without long queue times or really awkward games. But now with this patch, you can now queue with a wider group of friends and teammates if you are on the lower end of the spectrum of ranks. This is the image that I want to show on the screen, and I'll read out the text as well. At the lower ranks, we have a very large number of you in our matchmaking pool, so we are confident that we can make balanced matches even though we're increasing the disparity. As you rank up, you'll find a tighter disparity to ensure that we continue to maintain balanced matches. Obviously, as well as a sidebar, there's less players in here too, and it will protect the competitive integrity of these higher ranks. We also hope this helps combat smurfing by reducing the incentive to make a new account to play with lower ranked friends. And this image should make sense to you, but if it doesn't, if you're in Iron 1, for example, you can queue up to people, play against people all the way to Silver 3. If you get to Silver 1, you can queue up to people in Gold 3. If you get to Gold 1, you can queue up to people in Platinum 3. If you get to Platinum 1, you can queue up to people in Diamond 1, and you can see how the rest of it scales up, getting to a point where Immortals and Radiants can only play together at the highest tier. That should make a lot of sense to you. But I really like these rank changes. I know that the new system left a lot of people high and dry with how the system worked. It wasn't a good look with the leaderboard and all of the new changes. I don't think having one Immortal rank is as good as people thought it was going to be. I would prefer to have Immortal 1, 2, and 3 back, especially as a player that isn't too far from hitting those goals, you know? So I'm really wanted to see that return in some capacity and just make sure that there's a bit more leeway at the top tiers. But these are nice little pivot changes to make the system a lot stronger, with a couple of changes in the right areas where things were going wrong. But ultimately, I'm a big fan. But we said this about episode 2 at the start with the new Rank 2.0 system. We thought it was great, and then when we actually went to play it, there were a lot of problems with how the games were being coordinated. So we really need to get our hands on it and try it out for ourselves. But one thing that we did get to try in the playtest is this amazing quality of life feature, which is called Tactical Voiceover. To quote, "In service improving team coordination and information sharing, we've added more context to some of the more automated agent voiceover lines that play during the round. We have stuff like spike spotted or enemy spotted that the characters automatically say, or you use it when you ping a certain area of the map. But now they will say a bit more and embellish what exactly the information is. They'll talk about map super regions, which we'll touch on in a second, but generally it follows onto this picture. Example of this would be, instead of the character saying spike spotted, it will say spike spotted on C, or enemy spotted on B. Devs say we hope to provide richer information to the player with these changes. Tactical voiceover is not meant to be a full replacement for voice comms, so callouts will be duped in volume when a teammate is speaking voice over IP. But this is really helpful for those players that either don't talk, that maybe don't want to talk because they get a lot of flack sent their way for their voices, for example, or they can't talk. If you're a Russian player, you can't actually speak in European servers, which of course causes a huge amount of problems. The devs also say that overall we hope that this helps improve the quality of information the teams not heavily using voice comms are able to expect. We also believe that this will improve the experience of those players who have muted another player for any reason. And again, this is an image on screen of the different regions. For example, you might see enemy spotted in the mid region, enemy spotted in defender spawn, a spike spotted in attacker spawn. You just get a lot more information, and from playing on the playtest server, this kind of information is super useful to have, and whilst it might not seem exciting, once you play a game and start to see this for yourself, I think you'll really like it. Also, these tactical voiceover messages will be put into the chat window. You can toggle these off in the accessibility options if you don't want them, but it does mean that you will have some text. So instead of Silver verbally saying enemy spotted on B, the chat message will read Silver spotted an enemy in B. Other things to note, you can disable it via a toggle, the tactical voiceover generally. The tactical voiceover, like I mentioned before, will be ducked if somebody's speaking over voice over IP, and the chat messages can be also enabled and disabled via toggle. But other than that, there's actually not too much in this patch when it comes to balance changes. There's no agent changes or gun changes. The only other one to highlight is some changes to Escalation. The bind teleporter exit doors are now permanently jammed open. If you want to camp it, get ready to fight for it. And bind's pick rate has been evenly weighted because it was a little bit lower for Escalation because of all of the stuff to do with the bind teleporter strategies, I suppose you could call it. But that's it with the patch notes. The final thing I wanted to talk about is some big esports news, actually. The VALORANT Champions Tour for Masters 2 will be played on LAN as an international event. This event will be played in Iceland, in Reykjavik, I think is how you pronounce it, but hopefully I'll have to learn it at some point, but we'll see. They give some information on the place. The venue's name is even crazy, and this will be over a week from May the 24th to the 30th. This pretty much works as it should do with all of the other Masters event, but it's the first one that is going to have teams from North America, Europe, Brazil, Japan, Korea, Latin America, and Southeast Asia all playing in this event. On screen, I'm showing you how it all breaks down. It's kind of crazy that only 2 North American teams get to qualify, and even 2 European teams. This doesn't include the teams that we're seeing in VCT Europe. It also includes CIS, which is the Russian region, and Turkey. So only 2 teams out of that massive region of talent qualifying. Kind of sucks when you see that maybe Japan and Southeast Asia, objectively weaker regions in the Valorant scene, getting 50% of the spots in. So that's a shame. I would have liked to have seen more North American and European teams because, to be honest, that's where the best teams are. But I am excited to eventually see the likes of Vision Strikers and Gamelanders from Brazil playing up against, well, I don't even know who's going to qualify from North America and Europe at this point. But this is super exciting. It's cool to see a Valorant LAN happening. There's not going to be an audience or anything like that. It's just all of the players and all of the casting talent will be going to Iceland to put on this event. With any luck, I get the chance to do something like that, but my expectations are pretty low considering all of the region locking. It's almost ironic and a little bit cruel that even though there's stuff happening in the region of Europe because it's based in Iceland, that I still might not even be able to cast it because they might just bring North American talent over. Can you imagine? But anyway, I really wanted to highlight this because this is super cool. I really want to bring people into the esports scene. And if you are interested more in esports talent, I will put my other YouTube account, which goes over the Valorant esports scene, in the comments below underneath the giveaway. So yeah, that's all of the news today in regards to the patch notes. Not any huge agent or balance changes, but some big stuff coming to ranked and big stuff coming to the competitive side of Valorant with the first ever international LAN happening in May. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck with the giveaway and all that, and we'll see you then. Take care.